I would like to ask you, Stefania, tell us or walk us through the general situation in Gaza as we speak and the aggression happening on its people, please.
Okay, first of all, thank you so much for having me here today. And I wanted to say to everyone that is my first time having a public speech. So I thank you in advance for your patience and I will try to do my best. So,
I'm sure
um,
you will do amazing. So, floor is
thank
yours.
you. Thank you so much. Well, I have a master's degree in Arabic language and economics of Arab countries, and I lived in Lebanon in 2019 in the refugee camp of Burj al-Shamali, Palestinian refugee camp, and I lived in Lebanon also in 2022 and 2023, like right now. And I collaborate as an editor and writer for the online magazine Clean Amen in Italy. But as there are people more experienced than me, I would like just to talk to you as a young 25 years old woman living in Italy and that studied in Italy and that reads Italian newspapers every day. So, well, the situation in Gaza, I think everyone here knows how is it going, and everyone reads the newspaper in Western countries. So we can see that there isn't a match between what's happening and what we are reading, no? And I really think that Italian newspapers are full of double standards as all the other Western journals. And this is a big problem. As Tristino said, I think before, there is a big difference of narrative towards the Russian-Ukraine war and towards Israel and Palestine, but he explained it very well, so I will not repeat it. Just I would like to say that the Western countries are helping Ukraine for an invasion, and they are denying the same right for Palestinians, even if this is occurring like it started 75 years ago. Then regarding the genocide in Gaza itself, I think that one strategy that Western medias are using is to create a false equivalence that hides the asymmetry of power between the state of Israel and Palestine, and they're really not equal. Like one occupies and the other is occupied. One creates checkpoints and the other has to wait 3 hours in line to move from one place to another. As one controls the import of goods and the other one has to wait to eat and to have water to drink. So this is the first problem that is going through, like okay, it started many years ago, but now is even more and more uh, common. Also because, for example, for humanitarian aid, Palestinians are not receiving humanitarian aid for the same reason, for the same control. And another double standard is found in the consideration for Israeli and Palestinian civilians. Like Israelis are considered poor martyrs, while Palestinians, especially in Italy, I don't really know for other medias, but are all considered part of Hamas. So they are not even called Palestinians. And I think that the same problem is shown also in the language, no? Like, for example, if we speak about children in Italian television, we called Palestinian children like civilians under 18. And while we speak about Israeli children, we just create a storytelling behind their lives. We interview their families, we show their pictures. And so this is, of course, a strategy of dehumanization that Tristino said before also. And that is working well, of course, especially for people that don't really know the story and that didn't study this in schools, for example. And I really think that another one is, for example, the thin line that divides being pro-Palestine and anti-Semitic. Because, for example, criticizing the Israeli government and its measures now in Gaza and in Palestine in the past 75 years for the West means being anti-Semitic and racist. So, of course, this has the roots in the Nakba, that it was in 1948, so just 3 years late after the end of the Second World War. And so simply like the Western government just wanted to have an expiation, accepting what was going on in Palestine and in the Middle East. And to conclude briefly, I just wanted to say that another one is the self-interest of the West, and Palestinian freedom isn't in line with the interest of the Western countries and powers because they are led by United States. So if no institutional power intervenes in the genocide happening in Gaza, I think it's because maintaining the agreements with Israel is more important for every individual Western country. And just to conclude, I wanted to say that, of course, we all know, but maybe it's important to repeat it, that recognizing Israeli occupation in Palestine and the ongoing genocide and call it genocide doesn't mean being against Jews because they're Jews or being against Israelis because they are Israelis. It's just being against injustice, as I will be in 1945 during the Second World War, against injustice, against oppression, against violence. And it's a moral duty to continue to speak out about the subject and to raise awareness, to keep the attention high for us. And it's a duty of the institutions to push for a ceasefire.